Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I've been doing a lot of videos lately about the midlife crisis and what happens in the brain and the body that makes it necessary for us to buy a sports car or to look for a younger partner. But one thing I haven't done is explain why people go through this crisis. Why do they want to change? What is it about being 40, 45 that suddenly makes them feel so dissatisfied with their lives? And how come that for some people the same age does bring any kind of existential questions or So, in today's episode, we're going to talk about the motivation behind midlife crisis. Why do we feel this urge to reinvent ourselves? What are we really looking for when we make big changes at midlife? And can we be satisfied without making those changes? You'll have to watch until the end to find out if we can or not. Now, before I continue, please subscribe. It takes less than 2 seconds and really helps my channel grow. Thanks. Now let's continue. There are 2 theories that try to answer the question why we have a midlife crisis. One theory is based on the work of psychologist Daniel Gilbert. According to Gilbert, our brain has a sort of a mental time travel machine. We can remember the past and we can imagine the future, and these 2 abilities allow us to make decisions. For example, if I were to ask you right now, would you rather have $100 in your hand now or $120 in 1 week? Most of you would choose to have the $100. Now, because the value of the money in your hand right now is bigger than the value of the money you will get in 1 week, the future money is uncertain. Will you even still be alive in 1 week? So the brain discounts the future money and chooses the present money. But here's the catch. Our brain applies different discount rates to different people. When it comes to our own future, the discount rate is higher. That means that the value of $120 in 1 week is discounted more heavily than the value of the $100 now. So the brain tends to favor immediate gratification over future rewards when it comes to our own lives. But when it comes to other people, our brain applies a lower discount rate. The value of the money in 1 week is discounted less heavily. So we tend to think about the future of other people much more than our own. Why does that matter? Because, according to Gilbert, all major life decisions are based on the comparison between the 2 discount rates. When we are young, we apply a high discount rate to ourselves and a low discount rate to others. This means that our brain favors the immediate pleasures of youth over the future obligations of adulthood. We enjoy being carefree and irresponsible. But then something happens. Around the age of 40, our discount rate changes. The brain suddenly starts discounting our future more heavily than our past. So the value of our future happiness and well-being is higher than the value of our current pleasures. According to Gilbert, this change in discount rates explains why we experience a midlife crisis around the age of 40. The obligations of adulthood start feeling more burdensome than the pleasures. We no longer feel like partying all night or having meaningless flings. Instead, we want to settle down and live more responsibly. We start thinking about our legacy. How do we want to be remembered? What do we want to accomplish before we die? So we make changes in our lives. We get a new job, start a new relationship, or buy a sports car. Anything that helps us feel more fulfilled and accomplished. The second theory explaining midlife crisis was developed by psychologists who studied how our perception of time influences our behavior. According to this theory, there are 4 stages in the perception of time. The first stage is the time of 0 to 18 years old. In this stage, we don't really perceive time passing. Days and weeks are all the same. Time is limitless, so we don't worry about wasting it. We just play and explore the world, and time passes unnoticed. Then there is the stage from 18 to 35 years old. In this stage, we start perceiving time as valuable. We see that opportunities come and go, so we start planning for the future. We get a job, maybe get married, have kids, and we focus on accomplishing our goals. But then we reach the peak of time consciousness. According to psychologists, it happens when we turn 40. That's when we realize that we have wasted a lot of time and we panic. We feel that we are running out of it, so we make changes to make up for the lost time. Maybe we quit our jobs and start a new career or leave our spouses for a younger partner. And finally, there is the last stage, which begins at about 60 years old. At this stage, our fear of death motivates us to make the most of the time that we have left. We keep ourselves busy with hobbies, volunteer work, or spending time with loved ones. We don't want to waste a single minute. However, there is one thing that both of these theories forget to consider. Not everybody goes through a midlife crisis. If these theories were true, then everyone would go through a midlife crisis. But we know that only some people do. So here's my take on why some people have a midlife crisis and others don't. Having a midlife crisis is like taking a shot in a basketball game. Some people will make the shot, even if they've never practiced. Others will never attempt the shot, but they would make it if they tried. And there are some people who practice all the time, but they still won't make the shot. Some people have a midlife crisis because they are born with the ability to reinvent themselves. They are like the players who can make a difficult shot without ever practicing. Other people have a midlife crisis because they didn't pay attention to their lives and suddenly wake up at 40, 45 and realize that they don't like who they have become. These are the players who wouldn't make the shot unless they had practiced. And then there are some people who always pay attention to themselves. They know who they are and who they want to be. They practice the shot all the time. They set goals for themselves and work hard to achieve them. They are aware of the passage of time, and they know that they are the only ones responsible for where they are in life. And these people will never have a midlife crisis. They will never panic about wasting time, because they always know what they need to do to achieve their goals. If you want to be one of these people, if you don't want to waste your time, I have something for you. I have created a free course called 10 Steps to Unlocking Your Mind. In this course, I show you how to stop reacting to everything that happens around you and start choosing how you respond to situations. Because once you learn how to respond to situations, you can design your life exactly the way you want it. You can set goals and work hard to achieve them. You can take advantage of every opportunity that comes your way. You will never waste a single minute of your precious time. You can find the link to the free course in the description below. Now, let me answer the question I posed in the beginning of the video. Can we be satisfied without reinventing ourselves? The answer is yes, but only if you know who you are and who you want to be. Only if you know what you want out of life and are willing to pay the price to get it. Only if you can look in the mirror and say with conviction, I am happy with who I am and I am proud of what I have accomplished. We often think that we need to buy a new car or have an affair to be happy, but that's not true. We can be satisfied with what we have, if we appreciate what we have. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next time.